broadcasting to you from a little grass shack in the middle of the Pacific.
Live in the place.
All right, there you
What's
go.
up, Naki?
What's up? I'll fix that. I'm gonna fix that.
As the listeners may and viewers may know, we were obviously without a producer tonight, so got off to a little bit of a rocky start, but here we go. So today we are going to talk about. We're going to do our check-ins. We're going to do a little bit of blah blah blah, but we're mainly here this evening. We're going to talk about CVPI, Central Valley Pacific Islander Alliance, and it's one of the events they got coming up, and talk a little bit about what that organization does, because they are some movers and shakers in a community that you and I have always talked about, right? We've always talked about Pacific Islanders in Northern California that aren't in the Bay Area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the population is large. Actually, as you can see, I'm in a hotel room right now. I am in the Central Valley, way down south, in Bakersfield, but there are Pacific Islanders all up and down the 99 and the 5. And this is one of the organizations that's really making a name for themselves and serving the community. So that is what we're going to do tonight. That's the focus. What's up, Naki? What do you got going on?
Just chilling, hanging out. I'm excited to have the Central Valley Pacific Islander Alliance come on and talk about their organization and the event that's happening this weekend. And also just to mention, like, the Central Valley is really growing super fast. And so this organization is doing great work in the Central Valley. And so we are going to bring them on while we're chit-chatting. I want to bring on Tia Tevaseu, the Deputy Director and one of the co-founders of Central Valley Pacific Islander Alliance, CVPIA. Born and raised in American Samoa, then later moved to Lemoore, California, where her husband served in the U.S. Navy. Woo! Together, they are proud parents of 2 boys with over a decade of experience. Tia has dedicated herself to empowering Pacific Islanders and other minority communities in California, American Samoa, Washington, and New York through leadership development, health literacy research, and community-based policy initiatives. She earned her BA from Columbia University and her MPH from USC. Woo woo! And she continues to be a champion for positive change.
And it's my pleasure to announce Uriah Blackwell is the advocacy coordinator for the Central Valley Pacific Islander Alliance. Uriah identifies as Kanaka Maoli and Black, and as the oldest of 9 siblings, he learned early on the value of service. His organizing journey began at UCLA. So the 2 people we have on are repping UCLA and USC. We got to talk about that because they're right across town from each other and big rivals. Where he was an active member of the Pacific Islands Student Association and advocating for Pacific Islander retention and higher education and for the protection of Mauna Kea in Hawaii. His passion for community empowerment has led him to work with several nonprofits, including EPIC, AIFM, and SoCal Pickert. Look at that. He's big names in the community. Uriah is dedicated to building a future where Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander communities thrive on the mainland while staying connected to their cultural roots. Welcome, Tia and Uriah.
Hello.
Yay.
For having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
So happy to have you all on, and I think that it's one of those things where you've been doing work and being recognized for it, but at the same time, we always like to make sure that the shine is put on the right organizations and all the things that y'all are doing in the community. And for what Naki and I have always talked about is a community that usually travels well out of the 559, the 209, the 916, the 707 to the Bay Area, because that's where a lot of the services are. So the PIs from all over Northern California make, I always call it the journey to Mecca, right? That's where all of the services and everything is. And you guys are providing things beyond that scope, right? Outside of the Bay Area. And no knock on the Bay Area. It's good for them for propping up the organizations and the services for so many years. But it's really nice to see the services extended into areas outside of the Bay Area, right? So that's one of the things we want to talk about. And you got a big event coming up. So obviously we do want to talk about those kind of things, but welcome. So glad to have you. Been a little bit longer than Naki and I would have wanted to have you on. But yeah, we're excited to talk about the things that we're going to talk about tonight, introduce the programs and kind of a little bit about CVPIA. So I'll bounce it back to Naki. She can take over there, but we're happy to have you all on tonight.
Awesome. So Tia, tell us about the organization and why it started.
Yes, thanks so much. First, I want to read our vision because we worked really, really hard on it for a couple of months. And so the vision is a thriving Central Valley Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander community rooted in our cultures and guided by our ancestors. So shout out to the team. Took us months to come up with that, but that is what we were striving for. And you hit it on the nail, Uncle Carl. In Bay Area and SoCal, we have up to third generation Pacific Islanders already, right? But there's been a new migration pattern of these communities moving to the Central Valley. That includes Bakersfield all the way up to Sacramento because it's just a little bit more affordable in that region. And we do serve all the way from Bakersfield up to Sacramento. And the mission is to weave that trusted and sustainable network, right? Because instead of traveling to the Bay Area, traveling to SoCal, we can lean on each other and mobilize what we have available and who we have available in the Central Valley to serve, empower, and advocate for our communities. And we started during April 2021 of the pandemic. We just saw that there were no organized efforts and support for Pacific Islander communities in the Central Valley, but we were dying at higher rates due to COVID. Compared to all the other ethnic groups. And so we came together, just a group of strangers. We didn't even know each other. We networked through through SoCal Picker and through Epic. They kind of helped bring us together. And we planned this community vaccine clinic. And, that was a time when people were still questioning, is the vaccine safe for us, right? There was a lot of skepticism. But when they saw that it was their own people that was hosting the clinic, we ended up having more than 100 people come out to the clinic. And then through some funding from our partners, we were able to also provide gift cards for them to get food. But yeah, more than 100 people got vaccinated. And then after that clinic, we were like, oh my gosh, that was so awesome. Are we just going to stop here or are we going to keep going? And everybody was like, we want to keep going, right? And then from there, in the past 3 years, that's how we start organizing ourselves, really creating this infrastructure. And shout out to our team, but especially our executive director, Bernadine Tuisabalalo Tavita, who really led us from the helm and worked really, really hard to get us all this funding that has allowed us to have a paid team now so that we can continue to serve our communities.
I love the nod. It's a Pacific Islander, not speech, but it's a Pacific Islander presentation, right? So there is the nod to the elders, right? And then the how we're serving the community, just classic Pacific Islander, how things get started. And I think that Naki and I've always talked about our people making something out of a bad thing, right? So COVID, what good could come out of COVID, right? Well, a bunch of organizations came together, a bunch of people who knew nothing about, we are not epidemiologists, we're not, any of those kind of things necessarily. I mean, there are some that are, but most of the people that got involved weren't. They just saw a need and dove in. So great story. I love your vision and value. I love the mission statement. Naki and I are very familiar with how difficult those are to work out. The people think, hey, mission statements, you just you put them out there and everybody agrees, and it takes like a day or two, and then we find out that the process could be a little bit longer than that. So congratulations on the formation. Uriah, how about you? How did you get involved in the organization, and what have you seen so far?
Yeah, I mean, for myself, I was actually working for Epic at the time. And so I was one of the partnering organizations that came together for this vaccine clinic. And so back then, I think it was just me, Bernardine Tuisapalalo, one of our board members, Jeremiah Sadaraka, one of the main board members of SoCal Picker, Rita Scanlon, and then Tia as well. It was just the five of us. We all came together and said, hey, we're going to put this thing, we're going to try to figure out how we're going to get all the funding and get these vaccines and get things written in language and all that great stuff. And so I was, one of the first people that was able to come through and help put that together. And then with my connection from EPIC, we were able to, get some mentorship on how to apply for grants and how to formally come together and put some of our mission and vision together to officially start ourselves as CVPIA. And so I've been blessed to be able to be a part of this movement, since the beginning. Something to add on is also, that vaccine site serves as our anniversary now. So April 28, 2021. So next April will be our 4-year mark, which is crazy in the grand scheme of things, because we kind of, Tia can tell you herself, we kind of, when we came together after that vaccine site, we we're like, we wonder how far this could go, but we've gone way past all of our wildest dreams, and it's been a blessing every step of the way. And so for me, it was through my connection with EPIC that, got me connected with these beautiful folks in the Central Valley that have now become my new family. And I've, been organizing with them ever since.
So EPIC, Rita Scanlon, Jeremiah, like you guys dove right in with some big names and some organizations that have served the community for a long time. So the formation, and then so once COVID ended, or not ended, when I'll say this, when the COVID money dried up, right? Like that was for community organizations, there was a lot of funding going around because there was a lot of problems and issues to address, right? What drove CVPIA to go beyond COVID? Because there's a lot of organizations that started during COVID, and shout out to them. They were there for the immediate need, and then they kind of went away, right? You all decided that COVID wasn't going to be the end of CVPI, kind of the beginning of it. And here you are several years later. What drove you to continue after 2021?
Yeah, so like you're saying, we're mentioning all these legends in the community, and it really was because we were able to leap off of their shoulders to continue this work. Like they really propped us up so that we can be a sustainable organization for the Central Valley. The second thing is that there wasn't really anyone organizing and creating and strengthening this network of Pacific Islander families and organizations in the Central Valley. And correct, I don't know if anyone else is doing it, but so far we've seen that we're the only one that's kind of doing that work of bringing everyone together in the Central Valley. And so that put us in a key position to be able to receive funding that goes beyond COVID. And then third, we did a community needs assessment, right? We were trying to figure out where in the valley the high concentrations of our people are and what do they need most support in coming out of the pandemic. And it was funny because we thought it was going to be like they wanted us to support them in helping with their rental assistance or just to afford groceries or childcare, things like that. But the highest priority and need across all age groups was them just wanting to connect with each other and connect with their culture. And we were like, great. So you guys basically just want us to throw big barbecues and parties for you all. And they're like, yeah, basically, right? Because our people, we don't do isolation well. And so everyone just wanted that connection. And so one of our annual events is having that community gathering, just coming together to have fun. And then we also provide resources while the people are there.
That's awesome. I think that a lot of community orgs that start, especially in the Central Valley, like it's starting to grow and people are needing a place to, like they left pretty much the Bay Area or San Francisco, and they're just looking to connect. But I love the part where they're looking pretty much to have a big barbecue. But the thing that I was mentioning,
You're muted, Naki. You're muted.
We all want want to see someone that looks like us, and it's important for even our elders and the youngsters to see someone that looks like them in these places. So big kudos to you guys for doing the work that you're doing in the Central Valley.
Yeah, and I think so Naki and I did some focus groups. I think we call them focus groups. And one of the big points that we took out of that was when we asked the community, and it was a PI community in San Francisco, but it really speaks to Pacific Islanders, our beliefs and our desires overall, right? Where do they want to get their information? And that it was resounding. There was a very limited area they wanted to get their information. They wanted to get their information from elders, community activists and community organizations, and the church. So when you look at how are we going to communicate to our community and how are we going to get information, like, the vaccine is just an example, but it could be, I don't know, voting or healthcare, or, it could be any number of different things. It's going to be those groups, right? They're going to hear from their church, they're going to hear from community-based organizations, and they're going to hear from their elders. So those are, you're one of those groups. And in the Central Valley, it hasn't had a lot of those from the scope of what you're doing, on the size that you're doing it, right? It goes, the barbecue's kind of representative of what we do, right? We gather, we break food, we break bread, we tell stories, and we share information. And that's how our community kind of interacts. So on that note of how you're passing information and you're kind of leading at giving resources to the community, you have a big event coming up. And Naki and I understand it, right? And we know what's going on, but tell the people who may not know what's going on. And I think what's happening now is there are some people that are now traveling outside of maybe the fringes of the Bay Area to go to some of the Central Valley and Sacramento events. And that has not been the way that it is. Normally it is everybody gathers in the Bay, right? So this is an event, when I look at it and I look at the names that are involved and the topic, I look at it and go, this could draw some people out of the Bay Area because it's a great service. So talk to us about what you got coming up. What's on the horizon in the very near future?
Yes, thank you. So this Saturday on Zoom from 10 a.m. to about 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m., we have our College Pathways workshop. And we're working in partnership with Puna Leola Church in Stockton with Dr. Tai Faleava. So thank you so much to Puna Leola and Dr. Tai. But the purpose of this event is to empower our youth or people who are looking to network with NHPI faculty or college undergraduates who want to transfer, to give them the information and the support to continue pursuing their higher education. And so we have 3 sessions. The first session, we have Mrs. Mitsanoya Maka and Jasmine Miller. They're going to be going over the application overview process. So that's all the way from choosing the college that best fits you and what to look out for, and then how to strengthen your college applications. And shout out to our intern, Wesley Schaefer. He put together a really awesome informational packet that really simplifies everything so that it's understandable for everyone to follow. The second session is our panel of esteemed community leaders. So we have Dr. Vui Asiata Toitu Faleava, Dr. David Balaitza, Losa Line Mafuahingano Muli, and Ursula and Siatanga. Thank you so much for joining us this Saturday. And they're just going to be sharing about their academic journeys and encouraging you all to keep pursuing, go as far as you can. And then our third panel, I think that's going to be a really fun one, is we're going to have 6 Pacific Islanders who are currently undergraduate and graduate students to just come and share their journeys and tips with their peers. So that's happening again this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. on Zoom. Make sure you RSVP so that you can get the information packet.
That's awesome. And why this event? Why is it so important to get kids that are headed to college? Why is it important for you to help them with their application, to have educators there to talk to? Why did you find that was important? because
So
it really is. Like Mike, just to ask, I want people to make sure that they understand why this is happening, because I have kids that went to college. I had no help filling out, answering questions. We had to pretty much like figure it out on our own, and it was time consuming. So I love that this is happening, but um, tell us why you guys have decided to do this.
Thank you. It actually started from Uriah when he was our youth ambassadors coordinator with our first two youth ambassadors. So, Uriah, if you want to share that story.
yeah, so I want to give credit where credit is due. We This event comes from my experience at UCLA. I worked a lot with their peer program, that is their Pacific Islander Education and Retention Organization. And so for them, they have this thing called Senior Saturday, and being able to put on that event and work through it in the greater Los Angeles region, it really opened my eyes to the fact that my experience to applying for college was everybody else's experience. A lot of our families come from first, maybe second generation. I mean, so college isn't really something that's spoken about at home, and not even maybe at our extended family's home. And if we hear it at school, it's not something that's being, promoted at the dinner table. And so because of that, college for our community and for our youth is a little bit, it's kind of not a taboo subject, but something that no one knows how to talk about because no one, in our previous generations have had any experience with it. And so taking that, experience and bringing it to the valley, I was able to see, hey, a lot of kids in our valley schools are going through the same thing where they maybe want to go to college. They hear it from their counselors, but they don't have anyone else to look up to. They don't have anyone else that they see that looks like them attending these universities, or even anyone telling them that they can do it. Because I know for us, for me, growing up, a lot of it is like, when you get 18, maybe get a job, because you've been contributing to this light bill for 18 years, and maybe it's time for you to, put some money into it. And so a lot of, and it comes from a good place, but this event came from, just that experience and being able to promote, hey, if you do want to go to college, these are people that look like you, that have gone through the same things that you're going through right now, that are able to give you, those pointers in order to get you to wherever you want to go. And so after speaking with some of our youth ambassadors, where they were like, hey, I don't know whether I want to go to community college. I don't even know how to apply. I don't know if I really like how to do these insight questions. Do I have to pay for applications? And after that, it really spoke to me. Hey, why don't we just do a whole event where we go over all the nitty gritty in an Islander lens and be able to explain all the, the nicks and knacks of, what it really means to apply to private versus public, or how do you even pick a school? What does distance really matter? Do we want to live on and off campus? Like those are questions that like when I was applying, I'll be honest, I didn't think about any of that. I got blessed. I got into UCLA, and my mom was like, "Oh, I know that one. I see that one on TV. You're gonna go there." So I got blessed in that sense. And so we really just want to make sure that we are able to educate, and so that people don't have to kind of do what I did and kind of like put the options on a board and just throw a dart at it. And so that's kind of the main history of this event. And now we're in our third year running. This year it's on Zoom. Our first year we had it through one of our Pacific immigration partners. We held it in their office. The year after that, we were gracious enough to host it at California State University, Bakersfield. And this year it'll be on Zoom, and next year, who knows where it'll be. But yeah, that's some of the history behind this event.
I
I
love
think
that.
the piece of not knowing, right? I think that a lot of Pacific Islanders, one, don't think it's accessible, right? It's something, college isn't something that I know that people talk about it, but I don't really know like how would I even do that, right? The unknown is scary, right? So I think that your event helps take some of that away, right? The other piece is, to your point, Uriah, the piece of I just want to get in. I don't care whether it's this college, that college, this major, that major. I just want to get in. And I think that, one, it's accessible. Two, you can figure out what you want to do versus just, I just want to get in, throwing a dart at a dartboard. Whatever college is going to get me, then I'm going to be there. And it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, you can be a little bit more selective. There's different pathways to that. So I think that to Naki's point that she talked about earlier, hearing it from somebody that looks like you, that you can relate to, means way more than hearing it from somebody that doesn't look like you, doesn't talk like you, hasn't gone through, the cultural norms and practices that you have. So I think that is a big step. So this is your third event. It's virtual. Talk about the benefits of it being virtual. I think that's kind of, some people don't value things that are virtual, and they kind of like, oh, it's a Zoom thing. And then there's things that I know are part of this program that people are going to benefit from. So talk about some of the benefits that the community can have from it being virtual.
So it goes back to talking about how big the Central Valley region is, right? We service all the way from Bakersfield up to Stockton, up to Sacramento. And so the nice thing about virtual is that everyone can attend, right? Because last year we had it in Bakersfield and there was so much interest, but only about 15 to 20 people and their families were able to make it out. But now having it virtual, like you can log in from the comfort of your living room and bedroom, right? And then as soon as you're done, you don't have to worry about gas or anything like that. And we also really welcome parents and guardians, families to come learn the information as well. And so that will be easier to have everyone gather together. And then again, one of our speakers, he's an assistant professor from Portland University. So, and we have a student joining from University of Hawaii Manoa. So we're not just limited to here in California. We get to invite, we invited those people because those are the schools that our youth were saying they're interested in. So yeah, we just get to expand our reach.
Awesome.
And is it open to just, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Is it open to just seniors? Is it any age in high school? Who is this open to?
All high school ages. Actually, last year we had a lot of sophomores attend, and it was, they wanted to learn the college information, but they also wanted to get around other Pacific Islander peers. So that was always interesting. So all high school ages, undergraduate, like freshmen, sophomores who are looking to transfer into four-year colleges, all the parents or guardians, and then just anyone who wants to network.
I think that's understated, right? Parents, right? Parents are going to have as many questions, to Naki's point earlier. Like, I'm not real sure, exactly what my kid needs, right? So there's different dynamics between kids and parents. Some kids want to do it themselves. They're like good to, hey, I'll do the Zoom thing. Don't worry about it, mom and dad. Just let me do it. I'll do it. Other kids, the dynamic is like, I need your help, mom and dad. Like, so I need you to come with me and attend. So was it always going to be open to parents as well, or is that something that you decided, or if it, what made you expand it to or include the parents?
That just happened organically last year. Everyone just showed up with their parents, guardians, even their younger siblings who are like 5 years old. So power to them starting early. And then this year, Dr. Tai, he said that a lot of the people that was asking him questions were the parents and guardians. And so, it just all happened organically.
I think that's a big piece of it. Let the parents, there's the invitation is to you too. Like if you've got questions, and I bet your parents have as many or more questions than some of the young students do.
And will they be breaking into rooms for these, or is everyone all in one room and the speaker comes in?
We were thinking about that, breaking everyone, like in that last session, go to the speaker of the school you're interested in attending, because we have students from like representing community college, private school, public school, in-state or out of states. But we're going to play it by ear. If there's a lot of people, we're going to do those breakout rooms still. But if there's like a great conversation and flow going in the bigger room, we're just going to stay in the main room and keep that momentum up.
Okay. And then will you be doing this multiple times a year? Like if someone misses it today, I feel like this is such important, like great information and so needed. If someone misses it, is there a way they can listen in later, or will you be doing this again?
Yes, this is only once a year, but we are live streaming on our Facebook page, Central Valley Pacific Islander Alliance, so people can go back and watch the information. And actually, Uriah and I at the event will offer time slots for people to, if they want one-on-ones with us, to like help brainstorm for their application essays, or just edit them, or take a just talk story about what to expect in the application process. And then in like maybe January, February, we're going to have a follow-up workshop to help people fill out the FAFSA. Yeah, so we're always available, even though this event particularly is once a year.
That's awesome. Man, I wish I would have known that when my daughter went to college. I didn't even know what FAFSA was. So I had to ask, like, and my family, my daughter will be the first one to graduate from college this year. So we're so excited. But all those forms, like FAFSA, I had no idea. She kept asking me, it kept coming back to us because we didn't fill this and fill that, or we were missing information. So I'm so happy that you guys are deciding to doing this for our parents, for our kids. So kudos to you guys. I also wanted to mention that you guys were also nominated for Polynesian Heritage Awards this past year. So congratulations to that. How does it feel? You're going into your 4th year, like you're starting to blow up. What are your thoughts about expanding and all the work that you're doing? How good does it feel to know that you're not only reaching the Central Valley, but all over California?
I mean, ultimately, it's just a blessing. I think that's how the rest of us look at it. We definitely started with a vision, and like Tia said, that the valley is very vast. So even just serving the valley alone was very daunting for us in the beginning. But as we've kind of gotten in the groove of it, it's kind of becoming natural to the point where we even break the valley up into sections now, and we service all 3 sections. Like we have like the northern portion, which is Modesto, Stockton, Sacramento. Like the central portion, which is more so Madera, Fresno, Hanford, Visalia, and then the southern portion, which is Wasco, Ridgecrest, and Bakersfield. And so, even breaking it down that way, it's kind of like this flow that we've gotten into. And then, like you said, we got the opportunity to come to the Bay and be recognized. And for us, we were just happy to be there. And so, definitely, maybe next year we're going to push for maybe a little bit of a win, maybe get first or second place. We'll try to see. But I think for us, it's really just a blessing. We love to be, love to be seeing that our work is reaching, not only just families here in the Valley, but abroad as well. I know a lot of our families are connected to, back to the homeland, whether it's Hawaii, Samoa, Tonga, Aotearoa, Fiji. And so we just want to make sure that the impact that we're having doesn't just stay here, but also, reaches out as well. So yeah, it's been a huge blessing so far.
Yes.
I'll say this: the a college degree is, if you have a college degree, you're more likely to have better financial outcomes. You're more likely to have better health outcomes. You're more likely to have better social outcomes. It's not an automatic thing, but when you just look at the outcomes of different, very important aspects of life, a college degree makes you more likely to have better outcomes in all kinds of different walks of life. So any program or any organization, any group of individuals that's trying to make it easier for our people in our community to gain access to a degree is amazing work. I mean, it can't be stated enough of how much that can change people's lives, and it's generational, right? So when you look at the studies, when you have a degree, it's more likely that your kids will have a degree, right? And we've already gone through the degree, more likely for this outcome, more likely for that outcome. So the work you're doing is changing. There's a ripple effect. There's all kinds of different things, but just trying to pave that way for our community to find a way into college could change, generationally. It could be their kids, their grandkids, all those kind of things. So when I see the work that y'all are doing, and see how the organization was born, right? The genesis was something horrible, a pandemic, right? And then no, we're going to make something good out of it. We're going to turn it around. And after the pandemic is not, I want to say over, like we can't forget things going on, but we've moved on beyond. And then now you're like trying to get people into college and trying to educate people and all those kind of things, man. It is amazing to see. And don't just be happy to be there, the work that y'all are doing. You deserve to be in that nominee space with the other organizations that were nominated. 100%. You guys belong on that stage.
Tell us what's next for your team. What is up and coming?
Oh, I'll let Tia answer that, but I just wanted to say something really quick to Uncle Carl. Thank you so much for that. I definitely, to your earlier point in terms of us being lowly, like not very represented in the college scene. I mean, at most college institutions were generally like one of the lowest, if not the lowest population ethnically on almost every college campus. I mean, I know when I attended UCLA, it's a institution that has over 46,000 students, and out of that 46,000, only, I believe it was only 51 were represented as Pacific Islander or identifying as, and so that's like 0.0001. So for us, I really just want to highlight, I know Tia mentioned that we're going to be having writing sessions afterwards. We really encourage people to take advantage of that because you don't know how powerful your story is and how powerful your culture is to these institutions. I know for myself, for my personal insight question, I definitely wrote about the fact that there was one night, I found out that one of my cousins was getting married. It was like 1 a.m. My mom woke us up. She's like, oh, he finally proposed. That's going to happen. It's a shotgun wedding. You have to dance. And we live in Hanford, California, and Vegas is like a 7-hour trip. And so we're waking up at 1 a.m, having to jump in the car, and the next morning I'm dancing for a wedding. And so, those are experiences that, you would never think to tell, an institution like UCLA or Fresno State or any other institution. But, those stories matter, and they help portray, the beautiful culture that is us as Pacific Islanders. And so definitely, you don't know that until you hear it from someone else. I got blessed that I attended a listening session and someone was like, wow, that story sounds really cool. I've never heard of someone having to do that. And so I was able to write about it. And from there, get into UCLA. So I definitely hope that people take advantage of being able to listen to me and Tia and go through those writing prompts. But I'll let Tia answer what's next for us.
And I just wanted to mention too, I think having everyone share their stories, other PI kids understand, we're going to get in the car because mom said to, we're going to go to this wedding, but also understand, we only understand falaves, or kavengas, that it's a week of our funerals don't last for us. It's a week or even 2 weeks or longer. So to fit school in between that, nobody understands that other than a PI student. So I love that you guys are sharing stories that connect with one another.
Beautiful.
And then,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say some of I definitely want to promote, part of my role as advocacy coordinator here at CVPIA, as I help connect partners with better opportunities. So that's, greater funders, as well as to ourselves. I'm also serving as the main connection point between CVPIA and the partners throughout the greater Central Valley region. And one of the things that we're really trying to promote right now is, November 5th is coming up. We definitely want our community to come out and vote. The 2020 census definitely pointed out that our community is one of the lowest throughout the whole country in terms of actually voting. And so we definitely want to promote our community members to get their voices, their voices heard and their voices, counted for. Whether, it doesn't matter what you're voting for or what you believe, we want you to voice it. We want our community to be able to have immediate impact in their community. So that doesn't just mean voting for the president. I know it's probably the biggest thing to talk about, but voting for your local school elections. I know a lot of school boards are also having their elections this November. The local government as well, something that's a little bit more immediate, to where you live. And even state government, I know there's a lot of Senate pushes for the state Senate right now. And so we definitely, right now, our immediate future, so like the next 3 to 4 weeks, we're definitely going to be pushing to get our community members educated and also help our elders register or some of our adult members to register and definitely promote, their ability to vote. So beyond that, I'll let Tia talk about our goals beyond that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And yes, just to reiterate Uriah's point, our stories, our Pacific Islander experiences matter. So definitely write about those. But I mean, we dream big. One thing that we always talk about is we want to grow our team so we can grow our capacity to serve our communities. And one of our partners, he always says waves and waves of impact from Levasa. And so we want to continue those waves and waves of impact, and not just growing the team, but growing the right team. Because right now, shout out to our team. Like everyone is very energetic. We have very positive energy. Everyone is very eager to serve. Our self-starters, Elaima says ngofungofo, right? And then the last one is everyone's so humble, always eager to learn and grow. And so we want to grow that kind of team to reach our people. Like right now, we have one youth ambassadors group and one guiding hands group for our elders, but we want like 3-5 different ones throughout the Central Valley region, right? We want more funding so we can give more scholarships. We help a lot of our small businesses and churches and dance groups, cultural arts groups in the valley right now. Like we give them like probably a little bit of funding and technical assistance and volunteers, but we want to give more funding and more volunteers and people attending these more. So yeah, that's, we just want to our people to live in abundance. So just excited for that.
Yeah, some of the our church Puna Oleola put on a language and cultural class, and CVPIA gifted scholarships for attendees to attend. And when we were talking about that, we were talking about, wait, what? So now what is this? They're giving scholarships for people to come attend the classes. And it was one of those things, it was early on, I think, in the relationship, but it was one of those things with just how much CVPIA wanted to help the community, right? These are nameless, faceless people. You don't even know who they are that are going to take advantage of the scholarships, but they're going to be Pacific Islanders engaging in their culture. So the short history, the CVPIA has been one rooted in culture and rooted in the community. It's fun to watch.
That's so awesome. And thank you so much for doing that. You didn't even know anybody knew. You didn't even know. Big kudos and shout out to you guys. I know that you guys have a lot going on. Is there any last, and we'll start with you, Uriah, any last comments before we let you go?
We're just really grateful for you guys having us, definitely giving us this platform to be able to, advertise what we do and advertise Central Valley Pacific Islander Alliance. And we definitely want to rep the Valley. So thank you for giving us this platform. And I know Uncle Carl talked about this earlier, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say, UCLA over USC every day. So let's go Bruins, baby.
But Tia gets the last word, so I'm sure she's going to comment on that. But man, that is funny. I'm sure that's a topic of conversation more than once or twice a year.
Let's just say the Lions who are leading the Lions don't have to say anything. Our actions and how we carry ourselves. Just to echo Uriah's words, we're really humbled and grateful for y'all to have us. Like, you two are some of the legends here. You guys have been doing this community works, being servant leaders, and doing it for free for years, right? And so, Lisi Tualua was saying that we are the wildest dreams, where we can now do this work and get paid to do it. So a lot of our interns are like, wow, this is a job. It's like, yes, this is great, isn't it? Just throwing these barbecue parties and teaching our youth how to play lape and apply for colleges. So don't forget to RSVP for College Pathways this Saturday so you can get that awesome informational packet. Thanks for having us.
Yes, and follow them on all social media outlets so that you can connect and stop by and talk to them. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're so grateful, and we will see you soon. We'll see you soon. I might sign up for that class because I have a kid in high school. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you both.
Oh my gosh, they're so amazing. This is the flyer. And go follow Central Valley Pacific Islander Alliance on social media. Please check them out. Join the Zoom class. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to sign up because, I need help. I always
Why not?
We're so grateful for them. So we're going to
You know what I love about that interview was the baby in the background, because that's who
yes,
we are,
that's who
right?
we
That's the audience. Like, people get that. Our people get that. Like, I think if you weren't on a Pacific Islander show, people might be looking at that going, "Oh my gosh, there's a baby in the background." But that's our audience, right? That
yeah.
makes sense. I love that part of it
Well,
until she tried to
remember,
mute the microphone.
what was it? Kiss My Boba. We had
Uh-huh.
interviewed them, and they had their son like running around, and that's just normal, right? That's
Right,
just normal for us.
right.
That's how it happens. That's how it happens.
Every
NHPI
one of
College.
our every one of our viewers gets that. Every one of our viewers would be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's a
Nobody's
yeah,
nobody's in the comments. Nobody's it's awesome. I love it. NHPI College Pathways. Please follow Central Valley Pacific Islander Alliance. Register, register, register. Get your information. If you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, and your kid is interested in college, or the parent is interested in college and needs help, needs questions, has questions, and needs answers, please reach out to Tia and Uriah and their whole team. Their whole team is amazing, amazing.
bring your
NHPI
questions.
College.
If you got
Yes,
questions, write them
write them
down.
down.
Take them
Write it
to
down.
the Zoom and get a list of questions. You'll get them answered.
Right.
The people there will be able to answer your questions or point you to the right person or get the answers. But that's a great time to, like Naki said, when we first started FAFSA. What the heck is FAFSA?
What the heck?
But
I didn't
write
even
it
know.
down. What is it? Where can I get this? Where are private scholarships found? All those kind of things. Write them down and go to that event and ask them all.
Yeah. So tune in. It's this Saturday. Is it this Saturday? October 26th, 2024. Go register. We have the flyer there. I'm going to repost it on our social media, put it in our stories. You can reach out to them personally, follow them on social media. I think that is it for us. Is it for us? Because we're going to wait for you to come back. Carl is down south. So
I'm
we
in
will.
Bakersfield. I'm part of CVPIA. I'm down in Bakersfield.
You should stop and see them. Stop and see them. All right. That is it for us. We're here every Thursday at 6 p.m. Come back to Faika with us.
Love y'all.